Skip Laitner is a resource economist based in Tucson, Arizona. He's in New Zealand for next week's energy conference in Wellington, and he's in Dunedin to speak at the University of Otago and the Chamber of Commerce. He joins us now. Good evening.
Hello, Rebecca.
Welcome to Dunedin.
Thank you.
Now, you've had 42 years' experience in the environmental, energy and economic policy areas. Tell us a little bit about your work.
Well, the good news is I don't feel quite that old, but yes, I've been around the block once or twice, and I specialize in the ways economies work, and particularly how inefficient use of resources, whether water, but especially energy, actually constrains the economy, keeps it from being more vigorous, more robust. So I've been investigating that and taking a look at what we can do about restoring jobs, restoring a bit more vigor to the economy.
What are the latest initiatives in the area?
Well, we're finding actually upgrading buildings. For example, here in Dunedin, the Cozy Homes project may be a very smart way forward. We can cut energy bills perhaps 30% or more, and with rising prices, that would go a long way to help ease the budgets of the community and provide people with jobs along the line. So that's the very big one, the most immediate one, and as we learn, then we're going to be other things we can put to work as well.
How is New Zealand developing in terms of energy efficiency?
That's the bad news, I hate to say. It turns out that both the United States and New Zealand seem to be about the same. That is to say, of all the energy we put to work in our economy, whether we're heating our homes or running our industries or driving our cars, we may convert only 14% of all the energy to useful work. And that means we're wasting a lot, and that huge amount of waste actually clamps down on the ability of the economy to provide more jobs. So as we then double, triple, or even quadruple that efficiency, the economy may be much better off as a result. Very important to really pay attention to some surprising new numbers that most people haven't paid attention to.
Which countries in the world are getting it right?
Well, we're starting to see a lot of progress in the European Union and Japan, but getting it right is still a relative thing. So the European Union, whereas, say, New Zealand and U.S. is 14% efficient, Japan may be 18, Europe 18%, 19% efficient, much better in one sense, but that means they're still wasting over 80% of their own energy. So whether we're talking New Zealand or the U.S., whether we're talking France or Japan, all countries of the world are really lagging behind, and that could be a very big impetus forward for, as I say, creating new jobs and saving a lot of people, a lot of businesses, money.
What do you think New Zealand should be doing right now?
Well, I think actually, maybe talk about Dunedin. It turns out that Dunedin, when you add up all the different costs of energy, whether heating the homes, using electricity, driving our cars, probably spend about $500 million a year on energy. That is 2.5 times what the city budget is. And it's about 10% of the economy. So if we think of fuel poverty in Dunedin, that is, say, for homes that may be paying 10% of their income for energy bills, well, the economy is also fuel poverty poor. That is to say, you're spending more than 10% of the total economy's resources on energy bills. That means that we're not able to be quite as smart forward, able to be as productive, and therefore we're not creating as many jobs as we could be by making a different pattern of investments and increasing productivity more generally. What
do you think the future holds for energy use?
Not a good picture unless we change, and that's the whole point, is that the numbers I'm looking at, I'm cooperating with people out of Europe again, the Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. These are the developed countries that are working together. Includes, again, Japan, Europe, and New Zealand, Australia, U.S. If we don't become more focused on how to be more energy efficient, the economy is going to get weaker and weaker and weaker. That may mean that we may not have jobs for people a few years down the road, and that may create a lot of social tension as well as economic hardship. But the good news is there are so many different ways that we can turn that around. I've already mentioned improving our homes, but there are new techniques in industry, new ways of creating transportation benefits that can power the economy ahead.
Resource economist Skip Laitner, thank you so much for your time.
Pleasure. Thank you, Rebecca.